So I seem to have been doing a lot of calls recently, demonstrating, explaining, and reviewing how to use Fishbowl to represent outsourced manufacturing. Manufacturing where you pay someone else to do. You send them your inventory, you send them, and you pay them for whatever service they do. So if you send them multiple parts and they combine those to create a finished good part, and you pay them for a service, then I would call that outsourced manufacturing that doesn't work with Fishbowl's outsourced purchase order feature. Fishbowl's outsourced purchase order feature only works if it's a 1-to-1 ratio, where you send one part out, it gets heat treated, passivated, or whatever. I have a video on this you can watch. And then that part comes back as a different part. But it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Send one part out, bring one part back. What I want to do a series of videos on is how to use Fishbowl to represent a more complex process where you send multiple parts to a manufacturer. They do the combining, they do the manufacturing, and then send just the finished good part back. I'm Lance, inventory software expert since 2006, and in this video, I'm going to just show you how to create the bill of material. In another video, I'll show you how to activate the work order and carry out the work orders and all that. But in this video, sit back and see how an outsourced bill of material is created, and then in your own sandbox environment, create one yourself. I always encourage you to try new things in a sandbox environment, a copy of your live file, not your live file. Things will work great that way. So first of all, to go to the bill of materials screen, we'll go to Manufacturing, Bill of Materials, and we'll see Bill of Materials here. And actually, I shouldn't have said that, because on my other video, I completely contradict myself, and the best way, and I'm going to stay consistent because I still believe that, the best way to create a bill of material is to go to the top left-hand corner from the part screen and click New BOM. So let's first pull up a part that we want to create, and I'm just going to choose something random, to be honest. I don't really care what it is. And we're going to create a bill of material that creates this, looks like it's an adhesive anchor. Okay, we're going to create an adhesive anchor. So I'm going to go to New BOM and click New BOM. This is the shortcut I want you to use. Instead of going to the bill of materials screen and manually creating the BOM, this will get most of the work done for you right here. If you go to the part screen, select the finished good part that you want to make, and then click New BOM. So click, and look, it's got most of the work done for us. It put it on the bill of materials, a finished good. It's got it on the bill of material here. So all we've got to do is add raw goods. Now, this first one I'm going to add is raw material that goes into making this anchor. So I'm going to try to make it a little realistic here and use some sort of, let's see, this, we're going to create an adhesive anchor. So that means we probably need adhesive, and we would need some sort of component that creates an anchor, right? So maybe there's a bolt, maybe there's some sort of glue, maybe there's the actual component, the anchor. And I don't think I actually have these components in here, so I'm just going to quickly make them. I'm going to use batch add and just create anchor. Let me see, we've got a lot of other things here. Anchor base. Okay, actually, I'm going to use that. And adhesive. Doesn't look like I have any adhesive, so I'm going to create a part that's just adhesive. I'll call it GL001 for my glue category plus my part number. And then I'll call it epoxy adhesive for cement and brass. We'll say something like that, and let's make it a fluid ounce. It's not for sale, and we'll call that good enough. So we got a couple of different parts, and I think I was going to put a bolt on there, like an anchor bolt. I think I've got bolts in here. Let's pretend like there's an anchor bolt. Let's say this is category hardware. So I'm going to make the part number HW001 and say anchor bolt. Let's call it a 3-inch stainless steel anchor bolt. Looks good. Make that an each. Okay, so we just created the part number for it. And now everything I've done so far is pretty much normal, like you would do on a regular bill of material. But now we're going to make this interesting. Instead of adding labor, as we should do if we're manufacturing something in-house, we're going to add service, some sort of outsourced service. This is the service that your vendor is going to perform. So it should be a service type part, not a labor type part. Let's see if I even have this. And let's say the service is, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe there's some sort of welding or pressure, some sort of special thing that we can't do in-house. We don't have the equipment to do, so we have to outsource it, right? So pressure treating, right? So assembling and pressure treating. Looks like we don't have that part. So I'm going to click add and create pressure treating. And this is where it gets interesting. It's going to be a service type part, but watch what I do here. I'm going to select $1 as a unit of measure. What? Yes. It's probably easier to show you why I'm going to do this than explain why I'm going to do this, but think of it this way. We pay for the service, right? Your vendor is going to give us a bill. He's going to charge us a certain dollar amount to perform this service. We never sell this, so I'm going to take this off here. And now this is the other area I wanted to point out, is what expense account do we happen to map this to? Now you may choose a cost of goods sold account instead. That's fine, but understand something here with Fishbowl. This field right here, this cost of goods sold account, is only used if you actually sell something. So if we're going to create a service type part, we're going to use for paying the vendor. It's not a part that we sell, so Fishbowl's not going to use whatever you put in here. If you want your service type part to be a cost of good instead of an expense, that's fine. You can select a cost of goods sold account here, or a cost of goods account, but it needs to be selected in this expense area. Because what's going to happen when we consume these goods and close out the work order in the future, right? We've got to prepare for what we're going to use this for. All the items on the raw goods section of the bill of material are going to be credited. Whatever account they're mapped to will receive a credit, okay? And then the sum of all of them will be debited to the finished good that we're creating, all right? So this service, we want it to be just a clearing account. It's going to be credited when we close out the work order, but when we get the bill from the vendor, it's going to be debited. Okay? So the two transactions are going to happen is the closing out of the work order, crediting of the service clearing account and taking that amount and debiting it into inventory, right? So that's one manufacturing adjustment transaction that's going to happen. Then when you enter the bill in QuickBooks, or you can have Fishbowl enter the bill, either way, it doesn't matter, it's going to debit this clearing account and credit payables. Okay, so this is a clearing account. So if you need to create a new account in QuickBooks, you can call it clearing, you can call it whatever you want, but this account is going to behave as a clearing account. Right now, I'm going to focus most of this video on just creating the bill of material. Maybe we'll come back to this. But for right now, I'm just going to select cost of goods sold in general and click finish. So we've got this part. So I'm introducing a lot of new ideas. We'll click next. Oh, I made the mistake. It's actually good to make mistakes on these videos because you learn from them. But notice the bold says add finished good, add finished good. So everything that I put on here is going to end up in this area in the finished goods account. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to take a little screenshot of this. And oh, there we go, a little screenshot. And I'm going to actually take all of these off and click next and then put them all back on. So it's ANBA GL001 pressure treating. Okay, now they're in the raw goods section. That's where we want these components to be, in the raw goods section. So you'll see now I've got this in here as $1, and we're going to click save. But one more thing with this pressure treated, we're going to go to this part number. I just clicked on the link. You just see me click on that link. Clicked on this link right here, and that brought me to the part screen. And then I'm going to click on details, and what we want here is for the cost to be $1. So the cost to be $1. It's a standard cost. It's a service type part. Service type part, cost is 0. Now if you're not sure about this and you're nervous about doing this, just give it a try in your Sandbox account. You'll see how it works. It's all going to come together at the end of this video here. So this is what makes it an outsourced bill of material. Now if I add this BOM to the manufacturer order, okay, so that's how to create the outsourced bill of material. In the next video, I'll show you how this all comes together and why having the dollar as a unit of measure makes sense. And notice here the quantity for this. Let's say for each one of these they charge 89 cents. Let's see, charge 89 cents. Okay, that's the charge that they're going to charge you for doing the work to this adhesive anchor. All right, so that's where we put the charge for that, is on the bill of material. Okay, so now that we've got this all set up and ready to go, on the next video I'll show you how to use this bill of material to send an outsourced work order to the vendor. See you next video. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment below if you have any questions.